What's going on, guys? Video game expert back. Today I'm going to show you how to hook up your NES or Nintendo Entertainment System. If you look over here on the right of the console, you've got your yellow and red AV cables. That's your audio and video connections. Right over here is where your power is going to plug in. And these two are for the RF adapter, which we won't be using, so we're not going to worry about those. If you open up this flap, right in here is where your game goes. As you can see, we already have Tetris in here. Along with the console, you're going to need at least these three items: the controller, the AV cords, and the power supply. If your power supply looks different, it's because they make many different types. As you can see, this one's made by Nintendo right here, but this one works for multiple systems, and it even has two separate cords coming out of the back. We're going to be using the smaller of the two for our Nintendo. Now, if your TV has ports for AV cables in it, that's great, but a lot of new TVs don't, so you're going to need this HDMI converter. And we'll show you exactly what it looks like. See right here, it's going to come with the box and the cord. Just take off the little wrapper. This cord is the power supply for this box. You have to have this cord plugged in to the box and plugged into a power supply in order for this to work. Match up the mini USB side of the cord and plug it in. You'll see the other side is the standard USB, and that can be plugged straight into your TV, or you can plug it to an extra charging block and plug it straight into an outlet. Then you'll take your AV cables and you'll plug them in here. You'll see that yellow, white, red match. For the NES, we only need the yellow and the red, so you can leave the white disconnected. It's literally aligned to nothing. Over here, you'll have the HDMI. So from our TV, we're going to have an HDMI cable coming out, and we're going to plug that HDMI cable right into the box here. So we'll start here with the easiest way to hook up the console. My TV right here has AV cable inputs, and it says it's video 2 input. So I'm going to put in the yellow and the red AV cable. Like I said, the white's not used, so we don't need to worry about that. With those plugged into our TV, we'll look at the other side of the cable. It's going to have three of the exact same things, and we're going to use that yellow and the red, and we're going to plug those directly into the right side of our Nintendo system. You'll see right here, we'll push them in straight and firm. You'll know when they've gone in all the way. Plug in your power supply to an outlet, and then we're going to take the small cord out of the two, and we're going to put that into the back of the system. Like I said, you may have one that only has one size, so just take that and put it right back in here. Push it straight and firm right into the back. And then we can just press the power button on, and if the light comes on, we'll know that we're getting power to the system. So now that that light came on, it means that our system is getting power. And now that we have all of our cables that go to the TV and the outlet plugged in, let's not forget to plug in our controller. We'll take a look here at the end of our cable and line it up with the front of the console, and we'll plug it into controller port 1. As you can see, we have a copy of Tetris in here. So I'm going to show you how to put in the game just in case you don't know. Some people don't. As you can see, we have Tetris here. We'll flip it around to where we can read Tetris, and then we'll slide that right into the slot. And I like to take a thumb on both sides, push in firmly to make sure it's seated all the way. Then you push it down, and it should click into place. I plugged it into video input 2, so I'm going to make sure that my channel is set to that input. Once it is, once I hit the power button on the front of the console, the game should power right up. While you take this time to watch my incredible Tetris skills, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment on the video. It helps out the page, and I really appreciate it. Now we'll go over how to hook up the NES if we're only using an HDMI cord. So we'll take the power supply that's plugged into the outlet. We'll take the other end and plug that right into the back of the system. Then we're going to take our AV cables, the yellow, white, and red, and we're going to plug up the yellow and the red on the right side of our console. Now that we have those hooked up, we're going to go ahead and grab the HDMI converter box, And we're going to take the HDMI cable and plug it into the box. Remember, the other side of this HDMI cable is plugged into our TV. Now grab our AV cables, and we're going to go ahead and plug in the yellow and the red into the converter box. Remember, the other side of these cables are already plugged into the NES system. As I said before, and this is extremely important, we have to supply power to the converter box. So we're going to take our little cable, our mini USB, and plug it in right here. And like I said before, this USB you can plug straight into a USB outlet on the TV, or you can plug it into a little power box like this, kind of like a cell phone charger or anything you have lying around. You plug that straight into the outlet and you'll get power to the box. Now with power being supplied to the box, we can turn the power on the console and we can see that our TV is getting a signal. So next thing to do is insert a game. So I've got DuckTales 2 here. Remember, just turn it around to where you can read the label and slide it straight back, make sure it's insecure and push it straight down. And then once you press the power button, it should pop right up. If your game shows up when you press the power button, you've done everything correctly. Good job. Now it's time to enjoy your NES. If the game doesn't show up when you press the power button, I've got some fixes. 90% of the time, if a game doesn't work, it's because that bad boy is dirty. So we're going to clean it with some isopropyl alcohol and a Q-tip. All we got to do is dunk our Q-tip right in there and make sure it's nice and saturated. Now that we've got that isopropyl on there, we're going to take that Q-tip and rest it on the cartridge right here, the little part in the middle, and we're going to just kind of move it back and forth. We're trying to get all the dirt off of the pins. So once you've done one side, you flip the game over. Make sure you do the other side of the card as well. Sometimes the games are extremely dirty, and you can see so on the Q-tips when you're done. If that doesn't fix the issue, I got one more thing. You're going to want to try and find the game's sweet spot. And what I mean by that is where it is, you might just want to push it to the left or right a little bit and power it back on and see if it pops up. Just the slightest move can get the game to work perfectly. Well, thanks for watching. I hope this video got your Nintendo Entertainment System up and running.